Hello friends. Well, Sunday, July 4th, will be another edition of the world-famous Peachtree Road Race here in Atlanta. It's a 10K, which is about a 6.2 mile run, and it goes through the heart of Atlanta, all down through the city and the skyscrapers and ending in beautiful Piedmont Park. It's quite a spectacle. A lot of radio stations will do their broadcast from the sidelines of the Peachtree that day, so as you're going along you hear lots of music and there'll be people dancing. There's lots of spectators. Many of them are just dressed up just to be part of the scenery, and there's some very crazy outfits. And others are there to yell their encouragement. That encouragement's particularly helpful when you hit what they call Heartbreak Hill. You're about 3 miles into the race and already feeling tired when you hit a pretty steep incline, and that incline seems like it goes on and on forever. A lot of the spectators gather at that spot just so that they can encourage the runners to hang in there. You know, it's almost an afterthought that there really is a race for some of the world's elite athletes, and they'll run, but they've already finished their race before most of us even hit the starting line. There's just so many different folks. For most of us, it's about getting our coveted Peachtree Road Race t-shirt. People around town wear them proudly to show that they've completed the road race. It's a prize that comes if you can finish the race within 90 minutes, but the 90 minutes doesn't really even start until the very last runner crosses the starting line. So for most folks, you can get that 90 minutes, you can get that t-shirt even if you walk. Even if you walk slowly, you'll be there just fine. You know, you don't have to look good coming across the starting line or coming across that finish line to get your t-shirt. You can be stumbling, you can be walking, you can be wheezing, and all the same as running, you'll get your t-shirt. The Apostle Paul says that the Christian life is a lot like a race. In Acts 20, he says he considers his life worth nothing if he can only finish the race and complete the task that God's given him. In 2 Timothy, he writes again, he says, I've fought the good fight, I've finished the race, and I've kept the faith, and now there's in store for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will give to me on that day. Life is a race. And let me ask you, how's your race coming right now? Do you sometimes feel pretty tired, pretty worn out, needing some of those spectators on the side to be cheering you on? Does the finish line seem so distant that it's just discouraging, seeming like that there's no relief in sight and no end in sight? Or maybe for some, the finish line seems way, way too close, and that's depressing as well. Well, as you reflect on your race, I guess I've got maybe two thoughts in mind. The first is that in the Christian life, it's not about being fast, it's about being faithful. You know, there's no extra reward for finishing in any way. It's about being faithful and persevering, and in that spirit of letting God work through us and just hanging in there. There's times when the battle is just to be standing firm. You remember in Exodus when Moses exhorted the people, just stand firm, let God fight the battle. In the Christian life, just about being faithful. There's going to be periods of time when you're feeling exhausted spiritually. I guess sometimes that goes with the flow. It goes with the territory. Just be faithful. The second thought would be, if you're feeling pretty worn out, why not let someone else run the race for you? I guess two thoughts come to mind there. It's a place where, as Christians, we can carry each other's burdens, and maybe there's times where we need to kind of pick each other up and carry each other through portions of the race. But most of all, my thinking here is that God is offering to live his life through us, through the person of Jesus Christ, whose Spirit lives in us. So it's not about us having to run the race on our own. On our own, we could never last. We might look good for little stretches, but you and I in our own resources can't pull that off. Why don't we let Jesus run the race in our place? That's what he's offered to do. He's offered to live his life through us. You know, I ran the Peachtree Road Race for, I guess, 6 years before I finally figured that it was just too hot and too early. My knees weren't what they once were, and it was just a little too much trouble. I'd kind of been there and done that. But the Christian race is something entirely different. That's when you just can't stop, because the prize at the end is so, so much better than a t-shirt. Let Jesus run the race for you. God bless you.